men. And I use the word in the truest sense of the meaning. We're going to start a project today that cannot and would never be undertaken by a woman, little girl, people like that. This is a manly job for manly men. What we got here is old Harley crankcase. I think this is a 1986 first year 1100cc Evo crankcase. It's got a big nasty crack that runs all the way through here, all the way down to the other side. Somebody's welded on it. I don't know what they welded on it with. Doesn't look like TIG. I don't know what it is. Almost looks like it's epoxy. Some of it kind of chips off. I don't know what that shit is. I don't know, somebody maybe used some kind of a arc welding aluminum rod kind of a thing. Don't know what it is. It's a crappy weld. There's no penetration. It's horrible. The question is this case even worth saving? The answer is probably not really. I've looked it over. The only damage I see besides the big nasty crack is this boss that's been broken off over here. That's not really a big deal. One of the things I like to do when I got old crankcase and I'm trying to decide whether it's salvageable or not is I have a piece of 002 feeler gauge, and with the case bolted together, not necessarily torqued up, but I like to see if the feeler gauge will fit in between the crankcase halves. If it fits between the crankcase halves, that is of course an indication that the case has been warped and is probably no good. It might be savable, but it's probably no good. Anyway, this case has got about every other case bolt in it, and I can't find anywhere where this feeler gauge has been able to slip in. It goes in a little bit over here in the area where it's been welded on. You can see some more of that bad weld over there. Here it goes in all the way. The sealer I typically use on these things is Loctite 518, which according to their information, here's the tube right here, Loctite 518 is supposed to be able to close a 50,000th gap. So I got a little bit of a gaposis over here. I got a bolt in here, a bolt in here, so it should be snugged up pretty tight. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty tight. I don't see that little gap as being a deal breaker right now. Yeah, except for that one spot on the bottom, I can't get a feeler gauge in there. So the case is seen reasonably straight. I would suspect that whenever they did this welding on there, they filed it down a little bit and got a little too aggressive and took too much off. The only way to really fix that would be to build the surface up with weld and file it all down. Frankly, I don't know if I would do that. But anyway, let's knock this thing apart and see what we got. I want to get the old bearings out of there. Need a bigger hammer. Glad that one came out. Let's knock this one out. moving. Good sign. That one's out. Let's take the case the rest of the way apart. Come on, come on, come on. All right, it's out. And we got two more. And let's knock out this last bearing in here. This is junk. Let's knock out this guy right here. Let's see, what do I have? Let's get it moving with this one. Bigger hammer. This is rusty, garbage. This one's rusty, garbage. This one's rusty, garbage. And this one is real rusty, garbage. Now for the crack. I'm going to try something here. Let's just see. Looks like, since there's no penetration on the inside, that this thing might just break off. Now, just hit it over here and see if it breaks off. Ah, and that's what a bad weld job will do to you. All right, back again. I found out my camera will record up to 4 gigs, even though the card holds 124, 128, and then it cuts the movie out. Anyway, this is why welding Harley crankcases is hard to do. All this black in here is oil and dirt that's seeped into the crack. There's no way you could weld this thing until you grind all of this out of there. you'd have to open the crack up all the way from the bottom in order to clean this all out and get good penetration in the bottom weld. I don't know if you can see these shiny areas. These shiny areas are the points of instantaneous failure. When I hit this thing with the hammer, these are the points that were holding when it broke off. The rest of this wasn't doing anything. There was no penetration on this weld whatsoever. Anyway, to weld a Harley crankcase, you've got to grind all this off. You've got to grind it off on both sides. You've got to open it up to get a deep groove in there so your weld could get down to the bottom of the crack and penetrate thoroughly all the way through. I'm not particularly concerned about this weld job. As weld jobs go, I think it's going to be fairly easy once I get the surface prepped. Just FYI, this is at least the 4th crankcase I've seen with exactly this type of crack. This is the only one I've seen where the piece is actually broken out. Most of them stop a little short of that. I don't know why these do this. Might be the weight of somebody's foot on the brake pedal, on the foot peg. I don't know. The sprocket cover bolts to this thing. The foot peg was bolted to the sprocket cover. You know, maybe somebody was standing on it. I don't know. I don't know why it broke, but it must have been a hell of a shot going down the road. The only thing that concerns me about this particular weld is this area down in here is going to be hard to reach. It's going to be hard to get a welding rod in there. But, like I said, I'm going to open this thing up as much as I can from the outside. So I'm sure that I'll be able to get plenty of penetration in around the outside, even if I can't get inside penetration in this corner over here. The other thing to note is, on a lot of the older transmissions, when something goes wrong with the gear or a shifter dog, it splits the crankcase right through the middle of this hole, or splits it right through here. That's a lot harder to fix because you've got to be concerned about the alignment between the main shaft and the counter shaft. Typically, those jobs, the initial welds get put down while the crankcase is bolted together. While the trapdoor is bolted to the crankcase, I have a dummy counter shaft that I bolt into position to align the door with the right side of the case, and I'll do most of the welding that I can with it bolted up in that configuration. But this should be fairly easy. In any case, that'll be the next video. Right now I just want to say this. I'm going to give this crankcase away. My goal is to get 5,000 subscribers. When I get up to 5,000 subscribers, anybody who wants this thing, all they got to do is tell me they want it. I'll put your name in a hat. I'll get my wife or my girlfriend or whoever I'm seeing at the time to stick their hand in there and pull a name out. So if you're interested, subscribe. Get your buddies to subscribe. You'll be able to judge the quality of the work that was done because you'll be seeing the videos, and hopefully you'll like the quality. Hopefully somebody will have need for this crankcase or use for this crankcase, and it won't go to waste because it'll sit on my shelf for a long time. I really don't see it really being worth trying to sell. It might be worth $100, maybe not, who knows. But anyway, I'm going to give it away. Subscribe. I'll give it away when I get up to 5,000. If you have similar needs doing, get a hold of me through my website, www.IronHeadCycle.com, and send me a picture. We'll take a look at it so we can figure out if you got an unusual repair job needed. Maybe it'll be part of the next video. In the meantime, I am out of here. Thanks. Bye.